Guys, we need to get to 100 subs and I'll do a special video for 100 subs. Oh yes, I am the main man himself. Tank Dempsey.
Return the rocket to the Earth by whatever means necessary.
So what's going on, guys, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to upgrade the lightning bow in the Ice and Dragon on Black Ops 3 Zombies. This bow is absolutely insane. Definitely want to get this bow upgraded, as this lightning bow upgrade is simply amazing. If this guy does help you out, feel free to spare something to hit that like button, as this is quite a long Easter egg. It's not technically an easy one, and it does involve quite a lot of steps, so make sure you're paying attention to each step. If you follow each step correctly, you will have yourself an upgraded lightning bow. So before you can begin to upgrade the bow, you need to have the normal bow rather than the Angels. If you don't know how to get that, I'll have a link down below with the first link in the description. Very simple, and you'll get yourself the Wrath of the Ancients. So once you have your bow, you want to go out to the middle part of the map, which is called the Bastion, which is just above the courtyard, and shoot the Iron Dragon complex that you can see in the image, the massive Iron Dragon with the north, east, southwest on it. Shoot that, and it will open a crack in the wall just in front of it to drop a lightning bow part. And this will start the quest for the lightning bow. Now you can't pick up any other quest parts, as that will actually cancel out the parts for this particular upgrade, and that will be for a completely different elemental upgrade. Now I have guides on all 4 of the bows very soon, but this is the lightning bow. Now the second step, outside the map, are going to be 3 locations that need to be lit on fire by shooting a arrow at it. Now you need to shoot each of those. Now the first one, the easiest way to get this is to go down to the mine shaft to where Milking is and look outside of the map, and you'll see this kind of little platform outside of Castle Head. Shoot that with one of your arrows, and if aimed correctly, it should cause this to light on fire. We now need to do these for 2 more locations. Now one of these is outside the map near the courtyard, and if you're in the courtyard section and you go up the stairs towards where you'll find one of the launch pads as well as the Wonder Fist machine, there'll be a little crack in the wall, and if you look out, you will be able to see this really far in the distance, and you need to aim your shot pretty good. So I say the best way to do this is aim for the top of the smoke. You'll see like a bunch of smoke coming from above this. Even if you're going towards the smoke, the arrow should fly all the way there and light this one on fire. And the last one is in the rocket test facility. So as you come out the teleporter, make your way through the main doors and take a right, and you'll notice far up one of the cliff faces, you will notice this last and final one. And once you've shot all 4 of these, a picture of your character will pop up on the top left of your screen, and there'll be a little circle around it, and there should be a quarter of the circle outline filled in with white, which means we completed one of the 4 steps required. The next step you need to do is you need to go down to the undercroft section, which is the underground area, and make sure you have the anti-gravity kind of step activated. If you don't know how to do, there's this weird triangle, and there's going to be these 4 kind of panels that you can stand on. You just need to stand on these long enough so that they illuminate blue and stay that way. Your emphasis of the anti-gravity will be activated in that room. You want anti-gravity to be activated, and if you want to move up all around the room, there'll be these huge panels on the walls, which really look like smoke or like a build-up of wind. You need to wall run on all of these, and you cannot touch the ground during this process. If you do, you have to jump back in the wall. You need to wall run all around the room to get all of these in sequence, so that when the anti-gravity goes away, you'll notice that all of these symbols are now lit up all along the wall, and you've done that step correctly. Now the next step is around the map, specifically in the bell tower, in the rocket facility, and by one of the spawn areas. There's going to be these weird electrical bars that spawn around them. Now these need zombie souls, and it takes around about 6 zombie souls to be collected by each of these bars in order to be completely filled up. You can use any weapon to do this, you don't have to use the bow. Once you're not getting any more souls by any of these 3 locations, you'll know that you need to go on to the next step. And this one is pretty tricky, so I'll make sure that you have a crawler safe or someone looking after a crawler, so you don't accidentally get in the way or get down doing this. What you need to do is you need to check and hold down your right trigger, so that you've got an arrow primed and ready to go, so that when you let go of the right trigger, the arrow will fly. So what you need to do is hold down the right trigger so you're charging up an arrow, and you want to walk up to one of these vases. Now you should notice that your arrow now becomes electrified, and you need to go over to the original locations that we did at the start of this quest, and you need to actually shoot them with the electrified arrows. So now not only are they flamed, but they are also electrified, which creates this crazy flame lightning effect, which is really cool. You need to do this for all 3 of the locations, and once you've used one of those vases to electrify your arrow and successfully lit the thing up with lightning as well as fire, that vase will now become normal again. So you need to go
Hi,
around the map
Stevie,
and use each of those vases.
Stevie, I really appreciate if you subbed.
To shoot each of these locations. Now once you've done this, you want to go back
Fucking
to the
migrating
maximum
host.
section
Hurry the
and
fuck
shoot
up.
the compass again. Now you need to wait a few moments as there'll be like fire and lightning coming all around the compass. It's amazing. And then a few minutes later, it will actually drop a reforged arrow exactly where you first picked up the purple item to start this individual quest. It will say hold square to pick up reforged arrow, and then from there you need to go back down to the undercroft section, the underground, and hold square or X in front of the box in this pyramid section, and if it relates to your symbol, that's the one you need to go for, and they will actually place the reforged arrow here. Now you need to collect souls to fill in this arrow, and you probably need around about 15 to 20 zombie souls in order for this to be completed up. Now, once the arrow is complete, you'll notice these normal souls will be collected. Make your way over to the arrow, get out your mark of the ancient's bow, and hold spell or X, and the box should accept your bow, and you won't have it for around about 10 to 15 seconds. Now, when this thing is completed, you see a top left pop-up of the full circle completed, and there'll be a really nice icon in the middle of the character, which indicates that this is completed and you now have an upgraded bow, and you can get a trophy pot, which actually links to upgrading one of the bows, and that's how you get your lightning bow. This thing is absolutely amazing. You want to make sure that when you do shoot it, you shoot charged arrows, because not only does it send out a wind element, but also a lightning element, which makes a like kind of swirling tornado, and any zombies nearby will also be zapped by lightning bolts that zap around the tornado. It's absolutely amazing. Let me know down in the comment section what you think of this upgraded bow. Do you like it? Make sure to check the playlist down below and description, because I'll have guides on how to get the other elemental bows that will be all on my channel.
Fuck off, what the hell?
Videos like this, and I'll catch you another one very, very soon. So what's going on, guys, and in this video I'm going to be teaching you how to get your bow upgraded to a fire elemental upgrade. It's an absolutely insane upgrade and is part of the main Easter egg where you need to get all of the bows upgraded. I have Easter egg guides on how to get all of the bows upgraded on my channel, and you'll find links to all of them down below in the description, as well as a playlist link. Now if this video helps you out, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already for more videos like this. But anyway, let's get straight into this. So if you don't already have the original bow, the Wrath of the Ancients, there'll be a tutorial in the description to teach you how to get that bow. You need to get the original bow before you can do any upgrading.
Oh my fucking god. How did that not die? Fucking game, he's lagging.
And you want to shoot the wall with your bow, which will reveal a new quest line, which is for the fire bow. Pick that up, and then we can actually begin the upgrade process. But if you pick this up, you won't be able to do any other quest lines that upgrade the other ones unless you choose to, so you're set on this path. Now what you want to do is you want to go to the rocket facility, which can be done by either launching over there or taking the main teleporter, and you want to play around in that area and wait until a test rocket is about to begin. You want to run inside the doors and hold off in there and wait until it's over. Now as soon as the doors reopen and the rocket test is finished, you want to run up and you want to shoot this strange object up above that I'm showing you on screen with the bow, and this will cause a huge ball of fire to float up towards the castle. Now from this step onwards, around the map there will be faded ritual circles, and there are 3 of them in total, and one of them is next to the bell tower, one of them is in front of the death ray, and one is in front of double tap. Now you need to take the wonder spheres, which are the launch pads, to launch you towards these circles, and you must shoot them with an arrow in mid-air whilst being flung towards them. They are not easy by any means, so take your time and be sure to save up your points, because it can be quite costly to use a lot of these wonder spheres. So the launchers you need to use to get these 3 circles are the rocket test launcher, the death ray launcher, the launcher above double tap, and the launcher next to the church. Using a combination of all of these will allow you to see these circles, and when you're jumping in midair, these circles will actually be lit up, and you need to fire an arrow directly in the circle to cause it to be permanently lit up. Once you've managed to get all 3 of these circles lit up, we can begin with the next step. Now, you need to stand inside each of these circles. You'll hear these weird voices talking to you, and you need to kill zombies to collect their souls whilst you're standing in the circle. And you need to keep collecting these souls until there's a huge burst of flame that comes from out of the circle and goes towards the huge ball of the sky. So the best method that I've mentioned in this video is to start with the one next to the bell tower, then make your way to the death ray, and then finish off at the circle by double tap. Now once you've done that, you want to make your way up to the bell tower and hold square or X on the original wall that you broke, and it will cause some cogs to spin around inside, and will eventually stop spinning to reveal a lit up apothecary sign. Now around the map there are going to be 3 fireplaces. There's one in the church area where all the weird screens are, there's one in the hut in the Dragon's Head location near double tap, and I'll show you where exactly that is in the video because that's the one that I managed to use, and there's a fireplace in the room opposite Samantha's room, which is Eddie's room. Now when you use the cogs in the bell tower, you'll see a symbol, an apothecary, and you need to find the fireplace around the map which has the exact same symbol. Once you've found that, you need to charge an arrow straight dead center in the fireplace, in the center of the apothecary symbol, and what should happen after that is a max ammo should spawn along with fire inside the fireplace. Give it a few seconds and then hold square or X and you should pick up the fire. Now we're on to the last step, and what you need to do is you need to get a single zombie and shoot it with a bow directly in front of the huge fireball in front of the death ray. The fireball should now not be in the sky, and it should be literally almost on ground level. You want to get a single zombie and shoot it with the bow directly in front of this huge fireball and hold square. You'll hear some sort of character quote, and then by looking at the ball and holding square or X, the ball should float up and then literally explode in this crazy ball of fire, and it should drop the reforged arrow. Now we can get on to the final step, where you need to go down to the undercroft section and place your arrow in the firebox in the Keeper Ritual area, which is the massive pyramid. It's going to be 4 little boxes, and one of them is labelled with the symbol of the bow that we had. Once that's placed in there, you need to collect zombie souls around that area near that in order to fill up and charge this arrow. Once it's complete and no more souls are being entered into the arrow, you need to simply put your Wrath of the Ancients in the box, literally place it where the arrow is, give it a few moments, and you will have the upgraded fire bow. Now this thing is amazing. This is stand up my favourite along with the storm bow, as this thing literally wrecks. If you just shoot it normally, it will shoot flames that will literally obliterate zombies. If you charge it down, it actually uses a combination of fire and earth, where it actually traps the zombies with like earth that comes out of the ground, and also flames which kills them, which I think is really, really awesome. Let me know down below in the comment section what you think of this upgraded bow. Which one is your favourite? Let me know. If you enjoyed the video, like I mentioned, give this video a like rating. I'm sure it's very, very helpful, and make sure to subscribe as I have a ton of videos on my channel. There'll be a playlist link down below. You'll find a ton of my Eisendrache videos. But thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in another one soon.
Speaker's nest. Over.
So what's going on, guys? My name is Mr. Dalek JD. Thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to show you guys how to get your bow upgraded to the wind upgraded bow, which is the purple bow. This is an absolutely insane bow. Just like the previous video, which I'm going to show you an upgraded bow, you can find a tutorial for that down below in the description. But in this one, I'm going to teach you how to get this bow. A total of 4 different upgrades. I have a tutorial for each of those, but this is going to be on the purple one / the wind one. So what you need to do, of course, is acquire the normal Wrath of the Ancients bow. If you don't know how to do that, there'll be a link down below in the description to teach you guys how to get that. Now once you have this bow, you want to go down to the spawn room, and there will be a door which you can open to your right, which will lead towards double tap. Now, right next to double tap, there's going to be a kind of little ceiling roof that you can look at, and there'll be a little symbol which you can shoot down with your courtyard of ancients. This will actually drop a purple arrow. Once that purple arrow has dropped, you pick it up, you begin to do this elemental quest, and if you put any others, this will actually cancel out. So you don't want to do that if you want to get this upgraded. Now you want to make your way through the spawn, through the kind of little mine shaft area past Milkit, and as you're making your way out, you'll notice that there's a little brown patch on the floor. Now with this, you need to melee kill a zombie whilst the zombie is standing on the purple square. Once you do this, you'll see that the actual bit of flooring actually falls down, and there'll be an urn in the floor. If you hold square or X, you'll actually interact with that, and it will float up from the floor. Now there'll be 6 keeper heads scattered throughout the map, which we need to go and find. Now I'm going to show you each of these locations. They're pretty simple once you know how to do them. The first keeper head, which is the closest to this one, is actually on the broken wall on the left from spawn to Mule Kick. If you're looking at Mule Kick and then you go and you're like running back towards the spawn, there'll be a broken wall, and wedged in between will be a small keeper skull. If you hold X, that should dissolve and you can pick that up. Now the next one is actually in Samantha's toy chest. So to make your way through the map until you get to the areas where you'll find Samantha's bedroom and Eddie's bedroom, and if you go into the toy chest, you'll see that there'll be a head there. The next one is on a broken wall to the right. Of double tap, I'm sure you won't miss this one. The next one is on a window on the right side, second floor entrance to the church, which is also the main area with the computers. Make your way to this courtyard and go up the stairs on the right, and you'll see it perched on a window. The next one is actually in the teleporter room from the underground section.
Oh my fuck!
Right, and you'll see this little
Oh yeah!
head.
Jesus Christ! Every time, I'm gonna die.
Rocket test site. Now once you've collected all 6 of these keeper heads, they'll actually form around
Fuck's
the
sake.
urn that we literally interacted with in the last step, and it will look really, really freaky. Now there'll be some really creepy voice. He will tell you you need to sacrifice the broken. Now in order to do this, you need to make 6 crawlers and take them to the trophy room to be used as a sacrifice. Now you don't want to kill these crawlers, you want to simply lead crawlers down into the area around the urn, and you'll notice these keeper heads start killing these crawlers. It's really quickly, but as you see, you'll notice that you completely fill this up, and then you'll hear the trapped soul mention 3 different words. Now this step is extremely important, so make sure you write down what the words are said by this guy. You can say stuff, for instance, like crowns, heart, griffin, door, horn. He'll say 3 specific words in a certain order. You need to remember the words and the order that he says this in. So for me, I had door, griffin, and horn. So you need to remember these and write these down. Now continue on playing the zombies as you normally would, and the zombies will start to drop weird little symbols. They will drop 6 of these purple apothecary symbols in total. Once you manage to get all these symbols, you'll notice that in the room with the floating urn and the keeper heads, you notice that there's now symbols beneath each of the heads. Now, we need to take a trip through the church, which has all the different computers. Go up the stairs and make your way to the right to where you'll find the trophy room. And there'll be a ton of different lights here. This is the room just before the power switch. Now, like I mentioned earlier, if you've written down the words that he mentions, this will come in very, very handy. So say, for instance, he said door. You want to look around and find a symbol beneath the lights which has an image of a door. You then want to hold square or X, and that will reveal a symbol that correlates to that word. Now you need to find out what the words he said correlate to which symbol. Now in my specific game, I got the words door, griffin, and horn. So I looked around at all these different lights to find a symbol which looked like a door, and then I held square and it showed a symbol. So then I wrote down what that symbol was. And you need to find out what each symbol correlates to each. So then I found out what the symbol was for door. So I look around for griffin and I find an icon of a griffin, I hold square, and that will give me another apothecary symbol. And then finally I found the horn, and then I held square on that, and it gave me a symbol again. So memorizing the way that these symbols looked, you need to shoot these symbols on the ground with your Wrath of the Ancients in the same order that he spoke them. So for me, the door gave me these two symbols which look like two E's. So that was the first one I needed to shoot. The next one was Griffin, which looked like a kind of three-leaf clover. So I shot that one, and that comes up second. And then last, the horn was like a kind of swooped here, and then a kind of half-crescent moon around it. So I shot that symbol last. And then you should be able to say, that is my name, once you've gotten these correct. If you haven't got them right, he will say, that is not my name, and the keeper heads will scatter around the symbols, and if you actually walk anywhere near this, you will get down, so make sure not to do that. I can't stress enough how important it is to write down the words he mentions, because he never mentions these again. So if you don't have them written down, it literally is a game of luck. But the words that he mentions are randomized every single time you do this, so the ones that I got in this video aren't necessarily going to be the exact same ones that you're going to get. But hopefully, if you followed this specifically, you should have completed this. There will now be a misty flame in the middle of the ground. You want to hold square and then wait a few seconds, and then your reforged arrow should reappear. And now what you can do is you can go down to the underground section, the undercroft, and go towards the keeper shrine and look for the box which corresponds with this particular bow. Place it down, and then you'll get a max ammo, your arrow will be floated, and you now need to collect the zombie souls. It takes around about 15 to 20 souls, and once that's completed, you want to get out your Wrath of the Ancients, walk up to the arrow and hold square, and then wait a few seconds from that point onwards, and then you will be able to collect your upgraded bow. Now this particular upgraded bow shoots like a beam of light, which actually sends out a ton of gatekeeper heads, which go around and beat up the zombies. That makes the zombies kind of freeze in place, they're really confused, and they get eaten alive. Not my particular favourite out of all of them, but definitely not particularly bad at all, and it's quite comedic to see this happen in zombies. But let me know what you think down below of this bow. Do you like it? Let me know if this guy helped by giving the video a like rating. I really appreciate that. Make sure to subscribe if you're new around here to keep up to date with all the latest The Ice and Dragon gameplay, Easter eggs, and all that great stuff. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on another video very, very soon.
That you intend to profit your own through science research for your own twisted goals. Know this, my old friend. I will take whatever.
So what's going on, guys? My name is Mr. Darling J. Welcome to this video where today I'm teaching you how to get the wolf upgraded bow in The Ice and Dragon. This is a really, really cool upgrade, and it's a pretty easy Easter egg to actually complete to get this one upgraded. Now I've got guides on my channel on how to get all of the other bows upgraded, and you'll find that down below in the description, but I also have a playlist link where I have a ton of The Ice and Dragon videos, including live gameplays, Easter egg guides, and stuff. If this guide does help you, feel free to smash the like button down below and let me know what you think in the comment section. Now, in order to start this, you need to have the regular bow, the Wrath of the Ancients. If you don't have that, there'll be a link down below in the description for a tutorial on how exactly to get that. But once you've got that, we can begin this quest. Now, around the map, there are going to be 4 paintings that you can interact with. One of these is in the bell tower, one is in the room past the mine shaft, one is in the church upstairs, and one is past the trophy room. Now you need to activate these in a certain... Right, I have... So what's going on, guys, and in this video I'm going to be teaching you how to get your bow upgraded to a fire elemental upgrade. It's an absolutely insane upgrade, and
You okay, Tack? You and Richtofen seem to be getting pretty friendly these days.
Don't try to trick me. That would be unwise.
So what's going on, guys? My name is Mr. Darling JD. Thank you for clicking on this video where today we'll be teaching you how to get the wolf upgraded bow in The Ice and Dragon. This is a really, really cool upgrade, and it's a pretty easy Easter egg to actually be able to get this one upgraded. Now I've got guides on my channel on how to get all of the other bows upgraded, and you'll find that down below in the description, but I also have a playlist link where I have a ton of The Ice and Dragon videos, including live gameplays, Easter egg guides, and tons of stuff. If this guide does help you, feel free to smash the like button down below and let me know what you think in the comment section. Now, in order to start this, you need to have the regular bow, the Wrath of the Ancients. If you don't have that, there'll be a link down below in the description for a tutorial on how exactly to get that. But once you've got that, we can begin this quest. Now, around the map, there are going to be 4 paintings that you can interact with. One of these is in the bell tower, one is in the room past the mine shaft, one is in the church upstairs, and one is past the trophy room. Now, you need to activate these in a certain order. So each painting shows these 2 dog symbols and makes a guitar strumming noise. If you get the incorrect order, you need to restart the sequence again. So it's a random order every time you play it. You need to find the right sequence of painting, so each one you hit will show those 2 dog signs, they will stick, and you'll hear that guitar strumming sound. And once you've completed this, make your way down to the basement, and the wall showing the dog symbol will suddenly crumble, revealing the blue arrows for you to forge. Now once you've picked these up, you're going to make your way to the rocket test facility and look up where I do in the video to see a dead flag on the very top of the cliff face. Now shooting this will cause a skull to roll down the cliff into the map, which you need to pick up. Now once you pick this up, teleport back and place the skull in the dog box in the keeper shrine in the basement, and a ghostly wolf will suddenly spawn. Now you need to follow this wolf to a point where he stops still and starts digging up the ground. Once he's finished digging, you need to collect zombie souls where he's dug until it's full. Now when no more zombie souls are collected, that's when you know you've done this. You need to go and hold square or X on the ground where he's dug, and the wolf will continue walking around. Now you'll need to repeat this process. What's going on, guys? My name is Mr. Dalek JD. Thank you for clicking on this video, where today I'm going to be teaching you how to get the wolf upgraded bow in the Eisendrache. This is a really cool upgrade, and it's a pretty easy Easter egg to actually complete to get this one upgraded. Now I've got guides on my channel on how to get all of the other bows. You'll find that down below in the description, but I also have a playlist link where I have a ton of the Eisendrache videos, including live gameplays, Easter egg guides,
Stole the bow I wanted.
It does help you. Don't forget to smash the like button down below and let me know what you think in the comment section. Now, in order to start this, you need to have the regular bow, the Wrath of the Ancients. If you don't have that, there'll be a link down below in the description for a tutorial on how to get that. But once you've got that, you can begin this quest. Now, around the map, there are going to be 4 paintings that you can interact with. One of these is in the bell tower, one is in the room past the mine shaft, one is in the church upstairs, and one is past the trophy room. Now you need to activate these in a certain order, so each painting shows these 2 dog symbols and makes a guitar strumming noise. If you get the incorrect order, you need to restart the sequence again. So it's a random order every time you play it. You need to find the right sequence of painting, so each one you hit will show those 2 dog signs, they will stick, and you'll hear that guitar strumming sound. So once you've completed this, make your way down to the basement, and the wall showing the dog symbol will suddenly crumble, revealing the blue arrows for you to forge. Now once you've picked these up, you want to make your way to the rocket test facility and look up where I do in the video to see the red flag on the very top of the cliff face. Shooting this will cause a skull to roll down the... Now once you pick this up, teleport back and place the skull in the dog box in the keeper shrine in the basement, and a ghostly wolf will suddenly spawn. Now you need to follow it into the map. You need to follow this wolf to a point where he stops still and starts digging up the ground. Once he's finished digging, you need to collect zombie souls where he's dug until it's full. Now when no more zombie souls are collecting, that's when you know you've done this. You need to go and hold square or X on the ground where you've dug, and then you can continue walking around. Now you need to repeat this process for 2 more locations, ending in front of the Pack-a-Punch underground. Now once you've done this, you will notice that the wolf suddenly walks on its own and is actually stood facing up to a crack in the wall. It's like sat really pressed up. What's going on, guys? My name is Mr. Dalek JD. Thanks for clicking on this video, where today I'm going to be teaching you how to get the wolf upgraded bow in the Eisendrache. This is a really cool upgrade, and it's a pretty easy Easter egg to actually complete to get this one upgraded. Now I've got guides on my channel on how to get all of the other bows upgraded. find that down below in the description. I also have a playlist link where I have a ton of the Eyes and Dragon videos, including live gameplay, Easter egg guides, and tons of stuff. If this guide does help you, feel free to smash the like button down below and let me know what you think in the comment section. Now, in order to start this, you need to have the regular bow, the Wrath of the Ancients. If you don't have that, there'll be a link down below in the description for a tutorial on how exactly to get that. But once you've got that, we can begin this quest. Now, around the map, there are going to be 4 paintings that you can interact with. One of these is in the bell tower, one is in the room past the money shop, one is in the church upstairs, and one is past the trophy room. Now, you need to activate these in a certain order. So each painting shows these 2 dog symbols and makes a guitar strumming noise. If you get the incorrect order, you need to restart the sequence again. So it's a random order every time you play it. You need to find the right sequence of painting, so each one you hit will show those 2 dog signs, they will stick, and you'll hear that guitar strumming sound. And once you've completed this, make your way down to the basement, and the wall showing the dog symbol will suddenly crumble, revealing the blue arrows for you to forge. Now once you've picked these up, you want to make your way to the rocket test facility and look up where I do in the video to see a red flag on the very top of the cliff face. Now shooting this will cause a skull to roll down the cliff into the map, which you need to pick up. Now once you pick this up, teleport back and place the skull in the dog box in the keeper shrine in the basement, and then ghost will suddenly spawn. Now you need to follow this route to a point where he stops still and starts digging up the ground. Once he's finished digging, you need to collect zombie souls where he's dug until it's full. Now when no more zombie souls are collected, that's when you know you've done this. You need to go hold square or X on the ground where you've dug, and the wolf will continue walking around. Now you need to repeat this process for 2 more locations, ending in front of the Pack-a-Punch underground. Now once you've done this, you'll notice that the wolf suddenly walks on its own and is actually slowly facing up to a crack of the wall. It's like a sack. Press up against the wall, just looking up into the air. If you've not already done this, activate the anti-gravity in the room by standing on a blue square that's around this blue corridor, and anti-gravity will be activated. If you've not done this, just wait until the anti-gravity is activated, and you run towards its back in the wall and shoot your bow inside. Now if the arrow lands correctly, a small panel to stand on will appear, where you can then stand on that, face directly into the crack on the square, and will activate a skeleton who will come to life, teaching you how to get Easter egg. This link where I have the regular bow, the Wrath of the Ancients. If you don't have that, there'll be a link down below in the description for a tutorial on how. One is in the room past the painting, show random order every time 2 dog signs. They will make your way down to the basement, and the wall showing the dog symbol will suddenly crumble, revealing the blue arrows for you to forge. Now once you've picked these up, you want to make your way to the rocket test facility and look up where I do in the video to see a red flag on the very top of the cliff face. And shooting this will cause a skull to roll down the cliff into the map, which you need to pick up. Now, once you pick this up, teleport back and place the skull in the dog box in the keeper shrine in the basement, and a ghostly wolf will suddenly spawn. Now, you need to follow this route to the point where he stops still and starts digging up the ground. Once he's finished digging, you need to collect zombie souls where he's dug until it's full. Now, when no more zombie souls are collecting, that's when you know you've done this, and you need to go and hold square or X on the ground where you've dug, and the wolf will continue walking around. Then you need to repeat this process for 2 more locations, ending in front of the Pack-a-Punch underground. Now once you've done this, you'll notice that the wolf suddenly walks on its own and is actually stood facing up to a crack in the wall. It's like sat really pressed up against the wall, just looking up into the air. And what you need to do is, if you've not already done this, activate the anti-gravity in the room by standing on each blue square that's around this weird pyramid, and anti-gravity will be activated. If you've already done this, just wait until the anti-gravity gets activated, and it will run towards this crack in the wall and shoot your bow inside. Now if the arrow lands correctly, a small panel to stand on will appear, where you can then stand on that, face directly into the crack and hold square, and it will activate a skeleton who will come to life and hand you your forged arrow. And you will simply take this arrow to the box and keep the shrines with the 2 wolf symbols on and collect souls around the box until no more souls are collected, which takes around about 20 zombies to complete. And once that's done, you need to get out your Wrath of the Ancients and then place it in the box with the arrow, and then a few seconds later, you now have your upgraded wolf bow to use. Now every time you shoot this, it sends up those presents and actually misses and actually launches the zombies flying backwards. Now, the longer you charge this, the extreme the attack will be. And I found that even in kind of mid-20s, even into the late 20s, this became a really weak upgrade to this, so I wouldn't exactly recommend it, but the effect of it nonetheless is super cool, and I know that all of these bows will need to be upgraded in the Easter egg quest. So like I mentioned, I'll have links to all of that down below in the description and in the playlist link. If you found the guide useful, hit that like button and make sure to subscribe so we can give us a ton of videos.
Take an arrow to the marrow bone,
Easter egg guide for the Ice and Dragon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on another video very, very soon. So what's going on, guys? My name is Mr. Darling Genie, and welcome to the first few steps of the main Easter egg for Der Eisendrache. This is going to be the main Easter egg quest, and in order to start this, you're going to need to have all of your bows upgraded to ultimate upgraded bows of each element. If you don't know how to do that, you'll find a link down below in the description where you can get your hands on all of the bows, which are easy to understand, guys, and how to upgrade all of them. Now these are the first few steps. These are the complete steps. As we work it out, I'll be uploading updated steps, and I'll also have a complete guide once the Easter egg is finished. But if you enjoy this, make sure to smash that like button and leave your support with your thoughts down below. Let's jump into it. So once you've gotten all 4 bows upgraded, you want to get out the make your way up to the very top of the bell tower and place the Ragnarok DG4 down. What this will do is actually cause thunder and lightning to strike the bell tower, actually powering up a lever on the bottom floor of that with actually the time that the clock displays. Usually the clock is frozen on 115, but now the clock will be continuously moving, and this little box in the bell tower actually allows you to pull a lever which can stop the clock face from ticking and freeze the time on the clock. Now, like I mentioned, the clock is frozen on 115, but once this step has been done, the clock will be freely moving on its own, and you actually want to get the clock to be frozen on 935. Now the timing on this can be quite difficult, so make sure to test this out with the players that you're playing with in order to get the clock to be stuck on the right time. Preferably you want to have someone by the controls to be freezing the clock and someone to be watching the clock face outside so they can tell them what time it is. There are quite a number of clicks per every 5 seconds shown on the clock, so it's easy if once you've gotten onto a certain time, such as 10 past for example, you can count how many ticks it will take for it to get to 15 past, 20 past, etc. Keep trying this and eventually you will get this down. Now you need to get the clock to be frozen on 935 exactly. It can't be on 934, it can't be on 936, it has to be literally bang on 935. Once you've managed to get this to actually appear in 935 is frozen on the clock, a thunderbolt should strike the area next to the clock, and you'll hear some very strange noise. And if we make our way down to the underground section of the map, you'll notice that the triangle in the middle of the room now has a weird floating orb. This orb will actually allow us to time travel, and the way this works is once anti-gravity has been enabled down there, when you hear a thunder strike, you want to look at the ground and remember these little steps and then jump up onto the walls. One of these little weird panels that you will run on will eventually teleport you to this weird room. It is actually the teleporter room, but from the past. Everything is black and white, and a lot of the stuff that's arranged in there is different to how it is in the present time. And you actually want to be looking around to find a plunger on a table. The plunger is situated on a desk table to the right of the main teleporter, and you can see this quite easily. It's stuck down there with the suction pad firmly on the table with the actual handle sticking up in the air, and you've got around about 5 seconds or so to go in there once you you've teleported and pick that up. From this point onwards, all players in the game should now have a plunger as their melee weapon. Now at this point onwards, we aren't too sure what the next step is. This is where a lot of people are stuck on. Now there's been a few suggestions to actually melee the plunger in the sync area in the teleporter, both in the present and the past. That hasn't worked. There's just a ton of theories flying around, but none of them are working. But I'll have a link down below in the description to the next series of steps as soon as the use of this plunger is figured out. But you can change the clock time again to 9:35 and teleport back to that room. But I feel like they wouldn't make you go back there once you've gotten the plunger, as the main purpose of going back in time is to simply pick up this plunger. Like I mentioned, make sure to subscribe to my channel so you can find the next steps in this Easter egg. I'll be sure to update you guys as soon as possible. If you found this video useful, make sure to give it a like rating and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. What's going on, guys? And today I have for you the full Easter egg guide for the Iceland Dragon to get the Mind Brothers Kingdom achievement. This guide will go into extreme detail so you'll be able to get this Easter egg completed 100% and includes everything that you need to know. I've been doing Easter egg guides for Blackops zombies and Blackops 2 zombies, and the support has always been incredible on my Easter egg guides. So if you do find this guide useful, make sure to smash that like button, as I really would appreciate it. And if you want to do this Easter egg before and you don't have anyone to do it with, feel free to leave your PlayStation IDs or Xbox Live gamer tags in the comment section down below to help find some players. Now, like I mentioned, you can do this Easter egg in solo, or you can do this with 2, 3 or 4 players in the game. Now, all the upgraded bows must be required during this Easter egg as they are needed later on, and if you do not know how to get any of the upgraded bows or how to get a bow in general, I'll leave links down below in the description to all of those where you can find links to getting the bow, getting all of the 4 upgraded bows, as they'll be needed during this Easter egg. Now, the Ragnarok DG4 gravity spikes are also needed for this Easter egg, and if you do not know how to build that, then I will leave a link down below in the description to see how you can build that. Now, gobble guns aren't necessary for any step in this Easter egg, but I highly recommend putting on some mega gumballs in order to help yourself out, such as Phoenix Arcs, Aftertastes, Alcoholics, Cashbacks, Insta kills. You get the idea. Now, the first step to starting this Easter egg is to get yourself a regular bow and go down to the teleporter room in the underground section and shoot each circular pod above the teleporter. All these boards will eventually be glowing orange every time you shoot one of them, and straight away you will hear a strange gurgling noise. This will now start a sequence where a weird energy will electrify random normal objects. 4 objects will be electrified once around, and these randomize every time around the map. And these random objects can be a clock or radio in the church, the phone in the power room, a car tire which is actually next to double tap, a box in the builder room above double tap, a globe in Samantha's room, a phone in the small room next to Quick Revive, and a clock in the room next to the bell tower. The objects themselves electrify one at a time, and you have a certain amount of time in order to find each one and shoot them with an upgraded bow. All these sequences are random, and there can be multiple objects in the same area that can be part of the sequence. If you don't manage to find and shoot 4 electrified objects around the map in time, you will hear a noise to indicate you failed. If you also shoot your upgraded bow near one of the objects that can be electrified when they aren't part of the sequence, you will fail it. If you failed it for either one of those reasons, you need to wait until the next round to retry this step. If you shot all 4 within the time limit, you'll hear a noise and the teleporter in the lab area will now have a purple glow. Stay on the round you're on for the next step, otherwise the next step may freeze, and you may have to repeat the step with the electrified objects in the next round. All players in the game now need to go stand on the teleporter and hold the interact button to initiate the time travel teleport. You will now be taken to the lab area, but back in the past. This contains a mini cutscene with Dr. Groff. The main focus here is to do 3 things: grab the huge blue vial, grab the fuses, and memorize the code Dr. Groff puts on the safe. The code will be a sequence of 3 random symbols that appear beside the safe when Dr. Groff closes it. Memorize these symbols, as these are needed soon after. When you've teleported back, you'll be at the rocket pad. Running through to the main rocket area will cause a Panzer Soldat to swarm, along with however many zombies you can during the round. Take the Wonder Sphere back to spawn and run over to the Death Ray trap. Along one of the sides of the Death Ray, there will be a small square that allows the fuses from the Dr. Groff room to be put into the trap. This will now allow you to change the needle on the Death Ray from destroy to protect. Pull the lever to change this to protect. Now make your way to the Wonder Fish machine by the bell tower, and the computer next to it should now be activatable. Each screen will have a symbol on relating to the symbols from Groff's safe. You need to input the code by interacting with the screen that showed each symbol that links to Dr. Groff's safe in order from top to bottom. If you input this code in the wrong order or wrong symbols altogether, you'll have to start another round and restart the process of finding the 4 sparking objects to teleport back in time and get a different code from the safe. Inputting the code correctly will open the safe in the teleporter room, where one player can go to and pick up 2 cylinder objects and the group 935 card inside. You will now hear character quotes saying that we need to bring the rocket back down to the Earth, and Dr. Groff speaking over the tannoy about Richtofen. Make your way over to the Death Ray trap, and at the back of each sparking pillar, you will now find an empty spot between 2 pillars with lightning surging through. Whoever picked up the objects from the safe need to place a cylinder on each pillar either side of the Death Ray. You now need to face the side of the Death Ray saying destroy or protect, and pull the lever to move the needle to destroy. This will now activate the 2 computer pads around the map, one next to the bell tower and one in the rocket launch. Walking up to the computer and holding the interact button causes a different symbol to appear on 4 small screens for a few seconds. You need to memorize where these were as they disappear seconds later. Now the main huge monitor will now show a symbol which you need to match the same symbol with one of the 4 screens. This is a classic game of Simon Says. Now whilst this is happening, an infinite spawn of dogs will happen, so either a teammate or yourself if playing solo needs to be shooting the dogs coming towards the person interacting with the computer. When the computer is complete, one of the metal balls that surges electricity when the Death Ray trap is used will now be blowing. We need to go over to the other computer in the rocket test site and repeat the Simon Says game again. The sequence of symbols will be different than the last. If you fail on the second station with Simon Says, it will actually reset the Simon Says game completely, and you'll have to go back to the original computer by the bell tower and do that again in order to light up the orbs again. Now when both computers are successfully completed, head over to the Death Ray, and at the back of the Death Ray there will now be a lit up green button. Interacting with this green button will cause a huge surge of energy to cause a rocket to be falling from the sky, flying directly through the top of the bell tower and crashing in the courtyard. A test chamber containing tank Dempsey will also crash in the courtyard covered in electricity. Dr. Groff will now talk again over the tannoys towards Richtofen.
Richtofen, whoever you may be, do not know your true intentions, but make no mistake. I know you to succeed. I have activated the emergency containment to protect the test of this cryo chamber. Continue to fight. Let the rest continue.
It appears Dr. Grove may be smarter than I initially suspected. We must access the impeding device on screen.
Now not only did the rocket contain Dempsey, but also a golden rod lying on the floor beside the crash rocket cut. At this point, play on until the next round where the electrifying object step is active again, and find those to activate the purple teleporter again. Once you've done this, get all players to stand in the teleporter and hold interact to teleport back in time again. This time Dr. Groff will not be there, and the purpose of taking the trip back in time again is to collect one more object. Now in one corner of the room is a book on a desk. Holding interact on this book will cause a capsule in the room to open, revealing a stone slab on top of a bundle of hay. Pick this stone slab up as it's needed for the next step. Now upon returning back, Use the Wonder Sphere to launch yourself back to the castle, and whoever picked up the golden rod, take it down to the room where you originally picked up your Wrath of the Ancient's bow, and place the rod in the stone slab in front of the knight to spawn a ghostly gatekeeper. Now follow this gatekeeper as it will lead you to a stone symbol on a wall in one of 4 locations. The keeper being stood in front of one of these stone symbols causes a small white ring to appear on the floor. The more players that stand in this ring, the bigger the ring is. On your heads-up display, there will now be a faded colour on the bottom of the screen when stood in this ring. This correlates to a particular upgraded bow being needed. So for example, the colour on the screen might be orange, which means the upgraded fire bow needs to be used. Getting kills with this specific bow needed collects souls into the gatekeeper in each location. The zombies do not need to be inside this white circle as long as they are near the souls will be collected. Once a location has been done, the gatekeeper will move on to another location which you should follow. Again, look at the colour on your screen and work out with your team which boat is needed to collect the second location of souls. When it comes to the location by double tap, the stone slab collected from Dr. Roth's lab is needed to be placed on the wall in order for the gatekeeper to collect souls. Now once all 4 locations have been done, the gatekeeper is no longer a ghost and will go towards the pyramid in the Undercroft. Suddenly, laser beams will strike from each blue pad on the floor into the keeper, causing it to teleport to the moon. The next sequence of quotes are truly epic. Teleported to where the gatekeeper was. Now there are blue vials in each corner of the MPD, but one corner will be missing a vial. Whoever picked up the blue vial from Dr. Groff's lab now needs to hold the interaction button to place it down. Now the next step is a tough boss battle. Before you attempt this step, I would strongly advise you build the shield if you haven't already, grab a new shield if it's nearly broken, pack a punch your weapons or hit the box to try and get better weapons, grab 4 perks and hit the Gobblegum machine to try and get a useful gumball to help you or your team. The Gobblegums I suggest to have on is Aftertaste, Phoenix Up, Alcoholic, Cashback and Alchemical Antithesis. As I was in a 4-player game when completing this Easter egg, one person had Aftertaste, I had a Phoenix Up, someone else had a Phoenix Up and someone else had a Cashback just in case we ran out of ammo. All players at this point must also have built and acquired the Ragnarok DG4 gravity spikes and be able to use them before continuing. If you or any other person in your game can't use them yet, more zombie kills are required to charge the Ragnarok up, so I suggest keep playing on in the rounds until everyone can use them. Now when all players in the game have the Ragnarok fully charged, have all their perks and weapons, each player must stand on a blue pad facing the MPD. All players must get out their Ragnarok DG4 spikes and plant them on the ground. A few seconds later, we will all be teleported to the Gatekeeper boss fight. I will break down the stages of this boss fight to make this as easy to understand as possible. The room that you're in has an inner rock pad and a huge outer ring which is almost pitch black, but it does go back quite far. There will no longer be zombies attacking you, but an infinite spawn of skeleton zombies which rise out of the ground, which you need to be killing off every so often. The Gatekeeper boss itself has 3 different attacks. One is causing lava pods to rise along certain spots on the ground, one is to send a small group of huge purple Gatekeeper skulls towards you, and one is an electrical surge. The lava pods are easily avoidable by walking away from lit up spots on the ground, as a few seconds later the lava pods will rise. Standing in these lava pods causes you to slow down as well as inflict a lot of damage to you. The purple skulls can be shot at before they come towards your face. Not shooting them will inflict damage to you if there are a large group of them. The electrical attack is the most important, as this is where we are going to counteract it. Just before the keeper does this attack, the glowing orb will appear in the centre of the inner ring. One player will slam down their Ragnarok as a trap in the middle of this ring where the orb is in order to counteract it. This is how we weaken the gatekeeper. All players must run behind a pillar at this point and wait until the gatekeeper has his arms behind him with the gatekeeper symbol on his chest lit up yellow. This is when players must shoot their upgraded bows at his chest in order to inflict damage. After a certain amount of damage, the keeper will return to unleashing the first two attacks on all the players again. Whoever placed down their Ragnarok in the middle must pick them back up and continue dodging the attacks and killing skeletons. The mechanic here is every time a orb appears in the middle of the inner ring, a player must place their Ragnarok down as a trap. This is how we can do damage to him. When players are no longer able to use the Ragnarok, they need to recharge it by getting kills from the skeleton zombies. If no one can use their Ragnarok during the orb step, all players must hide behind a pillar, as the keeper unleashes an electrical charge which will down any player instantly who isn't stood behind a pillar. The aim here is to continually place down Ragnarok DG4s as a trap and shooting the keeper in the chest until he disappears. This is the end of stage 1.
Oh shit.
Max ammo will be wasted
No!
of the inner ring, and a series of Panzer Soldats will now spawn down in the far back dark parts of the room. These Panzer Soldats need to be killed before you can continue on, but killing these Panzers will dramatically increase your Ragnarok charge. My best tip is to prioritize letting whoever is closest to their Ragnarok being fully charged to take out Panzers first before letting other players take them out to charge them up. Halfway through this Panzer wave, another max ammo will spawn in the middle to help take them out. Successfully completing this will spawn another max ammo in the middle and the gatekeeper will return. The same strategy is continued by avoiding these two attacks and placing the Ragnarok DG4 down in the middle when the orb is in the middle of the inner ring. The only difference this time is you'll have skeletons and dogs spawning in, but I find dogs to be useful as it charges up your Ragnarok and skeletons. Completing stage 2 of the keeper will spawn a max ammo and another wave of Panzers. Repeating exactly what I said in the last Panzer wave, you will get a max ammo midway through and a max ammo at the end. Now on the third and final stage of the keeper boss, more skeletons and dogs will be spawning more regularly. Repeating the Ragnarok on the orb and shooting the keeper with bows a few more times will eventually completely destroy the boss. At the time of this guide going up, there is a major game bug during this step which causes the game to crash. My tips to avoid this are limiting the amount of different bows used on the boss. In my 4-player game, we only had 2 players shooting the gatekeeper. It inflicts the same damage needed for this to be completed at the same speed as 4 players shooting into it, and it reduces the risk of the crash. It will be fixed soon after this guide has been uploaded, but just to be on the safe side, follow this tip. Killing the gatekeeper completely will teleport you back to the Undercroft, and Dr. Groff will be saying this.
Now beyond doubt that your actions hold a threat to the work of Good 935. Your treachery leaves me no option but to take steps to ensure your termination, even if it means the destruction of the company itself.
I've seen this in action before. Hate to see you all powered up. Only the summoning key can disable the cryochamber containment field. But first, it needs a little more energy.
Looking at the NPD, the summoning
Well,
key
as
is
it got
now
is
sat
the
there
game
in the middle.
ended.
One character needs
Went
to
into
pick this
well.
up and place it
We
on
got
computer
the
next to the bell
upgraded
tower.
bow in the
Easter egg will
end.
now be completed, and this amazing sequence will
Oh,
happen.
this was Blackops Zombies. And please like, subscribe. That. Well, actually, before we end this, I'd like to say, we're trying to get to 100 subs, and be really appreciated if anyone who sees this video subscribes. So, peace out.